They're ready to go.
Scotcher, Logie, Rodda's jump in there to second place. He's got a bit of a hole shot. Dalton's having a bit of a look underneath Peter Logue now. Has he missed a bit of his setup for this feature race? We'll find out as the laps go in. This is only the opening lap, and it's already Brad Scotcher. Put a blinder on as he pulls the Scotcher Petroleum South Australia Victoria 1 round for the first lap.
But look at that go. Look at Brad Scotcher. He really is showing what a champion racer he is. He's out there in the front, but I'll tell you what, Peter Logue is not going to let him get away with anything. It's going to be a close running tonight. They're really tightened up there, first and second. It's a very tight run there.
John Rodda in second place doing a great job, sitting tagged right on the back of him there, and Dalton there in third place. And look, Grinstead's already up in fifth place, tagged in behind Logie. It's a long way. Still got 33 laps to go. We've only done 2 laps, and these cars are starting to string out the field already. Brad Scotch is doing a blinder of a drive there, and that
John Rodda right behind him. Yeah, John Rodda's really pushing it to try and get an inline on him. But I'll tell you what, he's stretching it out. In fact, they're just about ready to overtake one of the slower cars out there at the back.
Looks like Ian Drew's got a bit of a
some
problem.
problems there, I think. Yeah. In fact, he has pulled infield. That's Ian Drew. He's out of the race. Meantime, out there, the front runner is Brad Scotcher, and he's followed by John Rodda in second position.
But look at the race there for third, fourth, and fifth. Ronnie Dalton, Peter Logue, and Tony Grinstead. These 3 guys climbing over one another, trying to get a look at the back end of Rodda's car. Trying to look at the back end of
4, 6 and 18, yeah, what an effort there. That's Ron Dalton, Peter Logue and Tony Grinstead. Third, fourth and fifth position. They really are putting in a bit of a tussle there.
Like I said earlier, young Lionel West there. He's right in there behind now, behind Tony Grinstead. And that little turbocharged 6-cylinder Torana. He's put some blinder drives on here in the past. Tonight should be no different. He's got a long way to go, and he could just run these big V8s right down towards the end of this feature race.
He's already come from 9th position, so that's pretty good. He's certainly working his way up the pack, and that's exactly what we'd like to see. He's got a lot of time to do it. He's got 28 laps to do it, in fact.
But it looks like young Brad Scotch is getting away from it now. He's just hauling away there. Rodda's still in contention there. He's got him in his sights, but he's going to have to try and do a little bit more to close up the gap. On the Scotcher Petroleum Pontiac South Australia Victoria 1, driven by Brad Scotcher. As he hauls around there, he's done about 10 laps now and still got another 25 to go.
The difficult thing, of course, will be with all the traffic in the way. That's going to slow the cars down somewhat, and that's going to give the second and third runners a bit of an inline to try and sneak their way in.
Still Ronnie Dalton doing a great third place there with Peter Logue right on his back bumper bar. But this looks like where the race is definitely at for third, fourth and fifth between Ronnie Dalton, Peter Logue and Tony Grinstead there as they haul it down through the turns and head up the front straight. Doing a great job there, Ronnie Dalton. Passing some slower cars, and Lionel West there ready to pounce on him. There's a bit of smoke coming off his right rear, but we'll just see what happens there.
There goes Brad Scotcher as he rounds heads toward the first now, and he's really putting in a top show as he goes and really flies ahead, passing Bruce Tate now, or at least attempting to pass Bruce Tate. He'll try and take him on the inside. Bruce Tate not really aware that he's there, but he'll see him pretty soon as he flies past.
No, he's closed the door on him one more time, but
here he goes, take him on the inside.
Down the low line.
And that's exactly what we're going to see tonight. John Rodda there making his run on the inside, but again, he's coming up with a bit of traffic there as well, so they're all really tight now. In fact, it might be the chance for John Rodda to try and make a line in from Brad Scotcher.
Yeah, he's going to try and get round Millsy now, young Brad Scotcher. But Rodda's there ready to pounce. If Brad even sneezes, Rodda's going to be right into the party there.
Exactly. He's going to use all this to his advantage. And the fact that he's got a few slower cars to contend with, Brad Scotcher is really going to have to keep a lookout. He's going to try and sneak through, get past those slower cars, and then wind it out again, because this is slowing him down, and it's giving Rodda all the chance he wants to try and sneak it and take on that first running spot.
Yeah, Brad's got to try and keep his momentum together while Rodda's just having a look to see what he can see, everything Brad can see. He's trying to look on the inside, a bit there at the moment, but it looks like Rodda's gone the high line, but Brad took the low line and he's come through with it. Millsy didn't know what was going on. He had a car either side of him and he's pulled infield, but they've both managed to get through safely. But look at that, Ronnie Dalton over the back straight, still leading there from Tony Grinstead in third to fourth position. Peter Logue looks like he's pulled infield. We've got Logie out of the feature race. But it's still a great drive here from young Brad Scotcher and the Scotcher Petroleum. Number 1, South Australia 1, hauling it down the back straight. Driving for Patches Bitumen, SAS Car Engineering, Multi-Print and Highlander crash repairs. It's Brad Scotcher.
And an official time for that lap was about 16.5 seconds, so they really are flying at the moment. They're putting the pedal to the metal and they're really pushing their cars. But there's Brad Scotcher. He's really trying to stretch as much as he can, but John Rodda's not going to let him go with anything as they head toward the first turn, heading again toward the second turn. They've got 17 more laps to go in this one, the final race.
Yeah, the feature race here for the Super Sedans, the 1994 State Championship of Victoria. Brad Scotcher led from go to woe so far. Rodda in second place, and Rodda Dalton are doing a great job there in third place. Coming up on Mick Clark now. But these other cars, Brad Scotcher and that, are going to catch up on a bunch of slower runners in the next few laps. Another 2 or 3 laps, they should be right in amongst it. Could be a whole new ball game. How does Brad go when he drives through the Super? We'll have a look, because he's going to be joined right into these guys quick smart now with another 15 laps to go. 15 to go. So they're over half race distance, and Brad Scotcher's led them from go to woe so far.
Look at that. That's John Rodda's really pushing it hard to try and catch up to Brad Scotcher. Brad's now rounding the first turn and heading toward the second turn. He's got about 14 laps to go, and like you said,
look out, we've had a lose over here, but the car's fallen, come back down.
Let's do a 360 and get back onto the track. Why not? It's fancy driving there.
But still, Brad Scotcher and Rodda, and it looks like Dalton there is just going past a slower car. He's still got him in his sights, and he's only got 13 laps. Lucky for some. But Ronnie Dalton's got a bit of ground to try and cover to catch up with these cars.
But look at all this traffic they're coming up to, and this is going to be the real decider for Brad Scotcher. If he gets caught up in the traffic, then John Rodda, all he needs to do is try and sneak his way through. It's going to slow him down just that little bit.
Well, we saw it earlier. Brad went the low line and Rodda went the high line to try and get past a slower car, young Millsy, but we'll see if they can do the same thing here.
It's certainly a tactical game at this stage. A very tactical game at this stage too, Brian. There's a bit of touching going on, and I'll tell you what, it could easily change any second now. This is exciting stuff as Brad Scotcher around the third and heads toward the fourth turn. And look at John Rodda. He's trying everything he can. He's trying his darndest to try and take in on Brad Scotcher, but Brad's not going to let anything get away from him as he tries to get past those those slower cars and try to make it ahead of the pack so he can get a clear way and a clear run to get away from John Rodda, who's really tied there in second spot.
Look at the front wheel coming right up in the air on that 21 car from Tasmania. It's just hauling it big time.
It's Craig Lockwood. He knows the guys are on his tail. He's being chased. It's a cat and mouse game.
He's probably had a spring drop out or something in the back end of the car because the car's getting horribly loose coming around there. But the front end's right up in the air. But it might be the way he wants the car set up.
He's only running on 3 wheels, that's for sure. As he goes around those bends, he's really flying around.
Brad Scotcher and John Rodda still in second place. Still Ronnie Dalton in third as they haul it round now. And the miners still Tony Grinstead a fair way behind. But Brad Scotcher put a blinder of a drive on so far. 7 laps to go for the Scotcher Petroleum, Patches Bitumen, SAS Car Engineering, Multi-Print, Highlander Crash Repairs, South Australia, Victoria 1. Brad Scotcher and the Scotcher Petroleum Pontiac.
Look at this traffic. With all the traffic going on, it's given John Dalton a chance to catch up on John Rodda. Ron Dalton rather to catch up on John Rodda. Might be just the chance you can try and take there.
Trying to go around Gavin McKenzie now, but now Rodda's got a bit of clean air. He's off after it. But now Rodda's got to try and get around the 21 car from Tasmania.
Craig Lockwood, yeah, Craig seems having a few problems there. He's not got the total amount of traction there, has he? He's got a few tyres less on the road.
5 laps to go for Brad Scotcher. 5 laps to the Victorian Championship of 1994.
Equal distance between Brad Scotcher, John Rodda and Ron Dalton at the moment.
Brad Scotcher's got a lot of clean air in front of him now. He's got a chance to let the car set up and just go. He can haul it. And Rodda's got a fair bit of work in front of him to try and get past this Tasmanian car of Lockwood.
Craig Lockwood, yeah, in 21. He's really posing something of a traffic jam at the moment as the guys try to get past him.
But it's getting
a bit of touching going on.
Rodda's giving a bit of a heave-o, humpy-bumpty, but it's not going to do it. He's going to pull up the high line now.
He's let a bit of air to get through, and he certainly has. John Rodda's taken that chance to get through, but likewise, pardon me, Ron Dalton in number 4.
2 laps to go, so
really
the next time pass will be the last 1 lap flag for Brad Scotcher and the Scotcher Petroleum, Patches Bitumen.
It's the last chance for Ron Dalton to try and take on John Rodda. And look, there's not much between those 2 cars. In fact, there's probably just 1 single car length.
220
here they go.
yards.
Half a lap to go.
for Brad Scotcher. 110 yards as he comes around turns 3-4 to a great 1994 win for Brad Scotcher.
And
congratulations.
Well deserved there. Brad Scotcher in first position, John Rodda in second position, and Ron Dalton in third for the 1994 Victorian Championships.